Well, this weekend, there is a big box office duel. Remember 2023, where we saw a big push for Barbenheimer, Barbie versus Oppenheimer? This weekend, we have Gladiator versus Wicked. It's called Glicked. The question is, which is going to win the box office? Joining us now, a guy who loves to talk about movies and TV way too much. His name's Chandler. Sean, thanks for joining Eyewitness News Mornings again. Now, I know you have seen both of these movies. Between the two of Glicked, what has the better opportunity of taking over?
Well, all signs are that Wicked will be incredibly popular. It will be defying gravity at the box office. But think of what they could do together. Unlimited together, unlimited. Those of you that haven't seen Wicked might be confused. Those are lyrics from a couple of Wicked songs. But I think Wicked just has too much of a built-in audience here that it is just going to dominate at the box office. There is so much excitement. There are so many people planning movie dates, mother-daughter dates, all the theater kids going. People are so excited for this. I think Gladiator's going to do solid numbers. But Wicked is going to perform like a Disney musical. It's going to open sky high at the box office.
So you talked about mothers and daughters going. Now, I know in your family, your wife is a big fan of this. But I saw on Twitter, or X, just the other day, you posted an image of taking your sister, not your wife. What is that about?
Yeah, there was a civil war in our house where I tried desperately to be able to bring two guests to go see it. I got turned down. So I was going to bring my wife, and my daughter, who is also a massive Wicked fan, for the first time ever was like, "You can't do this, mother. You can't do this. We're supposed to see this together." And so it all started to boil over. The morning of, texted my sister, "Hey, want to go see Wicked this afternoon?" Before I even sent the text to my sister, she'd already responded yes, because she was that excited to go see it. But yeah, I mean, my daughter goes to movies all the time because of what I do for a living. And this is the one where she was that passionate about having to see it with her mother and had plans for it. That sort of passion is unique, and that is just going to drive the box office up of this film.
So I have to wonder, what was your sister's response? You come out of the theater, was it everything that she wanted?
Yeah, my sister's kind of a purist. She tends to be the person that nitpicks the little details. And besides a couple of the higher profile actors not being the best singers, she was just like Ariana Grande, of course, is fantastic, like our two leads are. But, you know, like Michelle Yeoh, Jeff Goldblum, not the best singers. Outside of that, she thought it was great. I'm new to this. I've never seen Wicked before. I'm not a fan. I wasn't looking forward to this. And it was a pretty tremendous production. It is so immersive. Everything is so big. It just sucks you into this world. So me, as the person that was not excited, still thoroughly enjoyed the film.
Yeah, I was
Wicked fans are going to have a great weekend.
I was dragged to the musical at the Pantages Theater here in California, and I didn't want to go. I left, though, like thoroughly enjoyed. This was a great musical. It wasn't for me, but I enjoyed it. Is that what you would say to any other guy out there?
Absolutely. Not since the Harry Potter movies has a movie just kind of taken you to this foreign fantasy world where it's just so fun to explore it. It just happens to also be a musical where everything is so detailed. It's so big. You know, there's a singing number in a library and there's like spinning wheels. It's just magnetic. So even for non-musical fans, there's a lot to enjoy here.
All right, Sean, I'm going to put you on the spot. It's a twofold question. Yeah. Now that you're this big film critic, you can start reporting on all of these films for rewards. I want to know from you, is this going to be an Oscar winner? I'm calling it, will it be the best picture of the year? Do you think it also will become, we're talking about Wicked here, a billion-dollar franchise?
So will it get a bunch of Oscar nominations? I would guess yes. It has a very good chance of winning in the technical categories, production design, that sort of thing, costumes. Best Picture, I'm not surprised if it gets nominated because it's not the most competitive year. But will it win? Probably not. But I think it'll probably get more nominations than people are expecting. Will this be a billion-dollar franchise? I think that is entirely possible. I would put it over 50% likely this thing hits $1 billion and it becomes the highest grossing non-Disney musical of all time because there's so much excitement and it's going to deliver on it. And they're already planning to do sing-along showings starting on Christmas.
No.
Like they're planning that, and people are already buying their tickets and making girl dates and theater kid dates to go watch this together. That's the excitement level for it. That's how you get to $1 billion.
All right, Sean, Nostradamus, Chandler, we appreciate your insights. You heard it here first on Eyewitness News. Thanks for joining us.
Now we know Wicked and Gladiator, they're coming out on the same day, kind of reminiscent of last summer's Barbenheimer experience. And for those who don't know what that means, explain what that is and how this is being repeated this November.
So last July, Barbie, which is obviously about Barbie dolls and a movie that was very female heavy, came out on the same day as Oppenheimer, a movie about the creation of the atomic bomb, which a lot of men were excited for. Came out on the same day, and it just had this interesting synergy of two such opposite movies growing that excitement for one another. And then you look at what's kind of happening that date with Gladiator, just this macho gladiator film with a musical. And just anecdotally speaking, I went with one of my friends last night to see Gladiator 2, and my wife is already scheduling with our neighbor, our daughter, with some of our former students to go see Wicked multiple times.
Wow.
So you can see it happen already.
Yeah, Glicked. That's what,
Derek Glicked, Wicked, Gladiator.
yeah, I love it.
It's good.
I just can't help myself but saying he was a soldier of Rome. Honor him.
Legendary filmmaker Ridley Scott is back with a sequel to his hit film Gladiator. Gladiator 2, set years after the Oscar-winning original. But is there still a reason to go back to the Coliseum? Movie reviewer, film critic, YouTuber, and a guy who just loves to talk about film and TV way too much. Sean Chandler is back talking about Gladiator 2. Now, Sean, you've seen the movie, and I was just looking at the international numbers here. It launched in 63 markets internationally over this last weekend to $87 million. Pretty good for Paramount. And Ridley Scott's biggest opener. Is it worth going back to the Coliseum?
I'll say this. The biggest thing working against this movie is that it is a sequel to a beloved classic that won Best Picture. And for most dudes over 35, it's one of our favorite movies of all time. So if you go into this expecting a Best Picture movie, if you expect a movie that is going to match one of your favorite movies of all time, you'll probably be disappointed. If you go into this movie just wanting a great action movie, an elevated action movie, you'll have a really good time with this film. I had a great time with it. I'm actually going to see it a second time tonight. And so just go in with proper expectations. It can't live up to one of your favorite films for the last 25 years, but it can deliver a bunch of action, thrills, and spectacle and some political intrigue in Rome.
So for me, I somehow missed this movie years ago. I grew up in that house where you couldn't watch R-rated films.
Oh.
So I finally grew up, and it was only maybe 6 months ago, I watched Gladiator for the first time. And I just wanted to watch an action movie.
Yeah.
And this one promises that. You've got sharks in the Coliseum. Explain that.
Yeah, there's a couple things in here. There's a fighting baboons, sharks in the Coliseum that you start going, hey, wait a minute. How do you get a shark into a Coliseum and you put it on a cart? How do you fill a Coliseum with water? There's a little bit of crazy stuff in here, but it's all for the sake of delivering big new spectacle that we've never seen before. And when was the last Gladiator movie we got? It was Gladiator, quarter of a century ago. We've gotten 8 Spider-Man movies plus more Spider-Man spin-offs, but we've only had one Gladiator movie. True. And so, hey, I can forgive some sharks in a Coliseum.
Well, this brings out Denzel Washington into this film, and I want to play a clip of what he had to say about the movie. Check it out.
He's not dark. You can't look at it that way. I've been using the word misunderstood. But he just wants to dominate. Just enjoy it. It's big, it's bloody, and it's bold, and it's brilliant.
So he's talking about the film, Ridley Scott putting this in, and his character. How does Denzel do in this movie?
Well, Denzel does in this movie the same as Denzel does in every movie. He's amazing. I mean, he's just so charismatic. He just sucks you in. You can't take your eyes off of him. Functionally in the story, he's like Proximo from the first film, the person that owns owned Russell Crowe's character. He's that role in this film, but his character is much more involved in the politics. He has much grander ambitions, and so there's just so many opportunities for Denzel Washington to just chew up scenes, and of course, he's so much fun to watch.
There's this whole meme around the internet that men think about the Roman Empire. How much have you thought about the Roman Empire since you've seen Gladiator?
Well, I mean, I've been thinking about the battle scenes constantly, and what would I do if I was put in the Colosseum? Would I die quickly, or would I run around like a coward, avoiding dying for a few more seconds? But I had a great time with the movie. I can't say that it's made me dive into the history of Rome all that much, but that's because I learned history from this movie.
There you go. Well, this weekend, it's Glicked. This is Gladiator versus Wicked. So we're going to bring you back next hour on Fox 58 to talk about the other big film hitting theaters, Wicked.